Today we're going to do a little video on the Cut 50 style plasma cutter. This is a Cut 50 plasma cutter. This particular model says it's made by Quarrel. They are all very similar. They're all going to have a very similar gun style. Most of them can do 120 to 240 volts. The difference with this particular model is you can control how long you want the air to run after each cut. This is the current pricing as of December 2020 on Amazon, where this one was purchased. What you're going to get with this particular model is an adapter, and the machine adapts it internally. There's no special switches you have to hit. So this is going to be for your 110 outlet, and that's what the machine will run on. If you plug it in to 240, it'll run on 240. You're going to get a better quality cut. This is the gun. And you are going to have your consumables inside the gun. This is your cup. The tip, this is a drag tip style plasma cutter, meaning you have to have contact with the metal you are working with at all times. Now these are two-sided. When this side wears out, which it might be hard to see on the camera, but you will see how it is kind of creating a little hole there. That's starting to wear out. Once it starts cutting a little rough, you're going to want to flip this to the other side and then put it back together like so. This isn't worn out yet, so I'm going to put it back together. Then you have your working clamp. This is going to be connected to any piece you want to cut, just like a welder. Now I do recommend using a welding helmet when you're using a plasma cutter. Torching goggles may work just fine. I would recommend a heavier tint. You got to protect your eyes. I prefer a welding helmet. It does get a little too dark sometimes, but this particular one I can control the shade on. And the consumables I was talking about earlier, you can get a bag like this. I think there's 50 in here. It was $15 on Amazon, same website I bought the cutter from. The nice thing about plasma cutters is there's no special gas, no expensive bottles to rent. If you're just looking for cutting something, they're awesome. And the metal doesn't get nearly as hot as it would with a torch. So you just set your regulator up. I think I've got this one set at 30. About 40 pounds is what mine cuts good at. I am going to do the first couple cuts at 110 volts. My garage isn't set up for this, so I will be switching to 240. It's a little bit of a load on my breakers. Now another thing I've seen, I did watch a few other reviews of this. I did see someone complaining that theirs was broken, that their switch didn't work, because when you turn it off, it continues to run. That's normal. It's going through a cool down phase. If you unplug it from the wall, it will still do this. Now it's off. Now I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's a delay when you turn it on. Now it's still running. That is deliberate. Okay, out of the box, nothing will be hooked up. Again, super simple. Your cutting tool end will thread into this piece, like so. And then your trigger, which is controlled by this, you can't plug it in wrong, will go in there. And you just tighten that down. And then your ground is probably the easiest. It just goes in and twist and done. Figured before I started, I would show you what my regulator is set at and what it looks like close up back here. It's pretty simple. This will come disassembled, but it's not that tricky. Try doing that with a torch. And this is that cut that I just did. Not too shabby. Okay, I have switched to my 240 source out in my garage, and we're going to do a couple cuts with this, and then I have a chunk of aluminum. I've actually never personally cut aluminum with this yet. Another little tip here from what I've been learning is when you start a cut, if you don't have an edge to start from, kind of start with the tool at an angle if you can, like this, because it blasts the debris away from the tip, not back into the tip, and it'll just save you some life on the tips. Alright, we'll do a speedy cut here, and then we'll switch to the aluminum. See how fast we can cut. I turn the heat up, and we'll see if I can go at that same speed and get penetration. For the most part it went through, but it's not a speed contest. I just thought it'd be something fun to test. Alright, chunk of 1/4 inch thick aluminum. Need to go hotter and slower. Now my particular model did not come with the greatest instructions, broken English and whatnot. This knob is your amperage or heat setting. This knob is your air setting. So how long you want the air to run after you're done with the cut. It will always run during the cut. That's how plasma cutters work. So generally speaking, if I'm cutting thin metal like I was today, for the exception of that aluminum, I would run right about there in the middle. Anything thicker, I max it out. I want that gun to stay cool. And same thing with your heat. If you're going real thick, you want a lot of heat. That thin metal, I really don't ever go below 30. And then this one does have a digital display. You don't really need it. Well, there you have it. This is a budget plasma cutter, and for what I'm going to use it for around here, I think it'll do a good job. It has done a good job for me. I've had it 4 or 5 months now, and I would like to add, it did have a hard time getting through this 1/4 inch piece of aluminum, and I did verify the measurement. It is a 1/4 piece. I would like to add that I have cut through an 1/8 inch piece of hardened steel, and it did do just fine. You have to cut really slow and you have to have it on the highest setting, but it will do it. Another thing is you want to keep an eye on this overheating LED. It's the yellow LED on this particular model. Exhaust work, body work, it's going to do great for you. So you be the judge. Do you want something to just get yourself into a plasma cutter kind of like I did? Then I think this is going to be fine. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this video gives you a little bit of insight on the Cut 50 budget line plasma cutters. I think for your everyday person, working in your garage, doing odds and ends, maybe a little body work, stuff like that, I think this thing's going to get it done. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's any tips or tricks that you guys have done if you own one of these that could make me even more deadly with it. Thanks.